the ability to just like take a beating and still keep going and be fun was kind of the main objective there.
Aloha, everybody. It's Mark Sawyer-Chu, host of the Christian Surfers podcast. We just wanted to say a special thanks to Almond Surfboards and Trustless Property Management, to thank them for their support and love. Those guys love the Lord. We wouldn't be able to tell the stories of Jesus from all around the world through this ministry without those guys. Almond Surfboards, based in Costa Mesa, California, since 2007. They've been building timeless boards and just helping families and friends just surf the everyday average waves, but making it fun and remembering the joy of surfing. Beautiful boards from mid-lengths and longboards to fishes and shortboards. Go by, check them out. Really fun merch too, and they do a great job building community. Gary Ward and Bryce and the team over at Trustless Property Management, based in San Clemente, absolute legends as well, who love the Lord. And if you have a property that you want a family-owned business that you can trust to operate it, or looking for a place or home to purchase, I did my place and bought our home through them. Those are great guys to work with. So Trustless Property Management and Almond Surfboards, God bless you guys, and thank you for all your support with Christian Surfers.
Hey guys, and aloha. It's Mark Sawyer-Chu, your host of the Christian Surfers podcast, Talk Story, where we talk Jesus and talk with surfers that love Jesus. Please tune in to hear some amazing stories of faith and the kingdom, and we'll see you soon.
Woo! All right. Friends and family, brothers and sisters, welcome and good morning to the Christian Surfers Talk Story podcast, where we talk about Jesus and talk to people that love Jesus. Just like this guy here, Dave Allee from Almond Surfboards. Dave, thank you for making time for us this morning, letting us come into your shop here in Costa Mesa and film. You've got a beautiful retail location here. How long have you guys been in this spot?
So we've been in this spot almost 10 years. We just celebrated the 16-year anniversary, actually, of having a store here in my
Happy birthday.
Costa Mesa.
That's right.
Thank you. But yeah, in this spot, October will be 10 years. So, you know, most of that 16 years has been in this old building.
Incredible. It's a beautiful location. So if you guys are in Southern California and you guys are in Orange County, please come by and check out Dave's shop. We'll make sure we include your website, and Instagram is just Almond Surfboards, right?
Yep, everything's just Almond Surfboards.
There you go.
AlmondSurfboards.com.
And an amazing email list. That's something we're going to talk about today on the podcast. This guy does an amazing job with just brand marketing, and such helpful like content and information. We'll get into the merch. We'll obviously get into the boards and your story of faith. You got some books over there that I should have grabbed right there. Maybe I can go grab it real quick, but yeah, jump in there. Here we go. We're keeping it real here on the Christian Surfers podcast, just like Jesus does with our lives. And we want to do a special thanks to Dave Allee, and Trustless Property Management down in San Clemente, Gary Ward, Bryce, the guys down there, for supporting the ministry, supporting the podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming on board as a sponsor. But this is great. Are you guys actually printing this yourself, or?
There's a place online that we use in the Midwest that's like all they do is like self-publishing books. So
that's amazing. And does this tie into basically helping create an inclusive community, which, you know, I guess to kind of take a step back, the first time I think I heard about you, I was living in Costa Mesa at that time, pre-kids, pre-marriage with Lydia. I think I was freelancing at Surfline and the Inertia, and I was living behind the IKEA here in Costa Mesa off Susan Street. And then I'd surf Blackies all the time. I had a little kind of like office off 36th Street, kind of sublet, a little spot there behind, what's that burrito place?
Wild Taco? Bear Flag?
Bear Flag.
Yeah.
One of the OG.
The original Bear Flag.
The original Bear Flag. They got other locations now, and I would run to like Blackies and surf, and I would start seeing these beautiful boards in the parking lot. And I would just talk to guys. I'd be like, "Hey, what brand is that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's a brand called Almond Surfboards." And I would check out the shapes, and just beautiful, just kind of like clean outline and just a lot of color, and some fishes and alternative shapes and single fins. And so I kind of like started noticing you and the brand for that, and just seeing these beautiful pieces of art that people were just surfing. And then I got on your email list, and I was like, this guy's incredible. Just the way that you write, and it's just so fun, and educational at the same time. And you were basically creating community. You started a club called Early and Often.
Early and Often Surf Club,
Yeah.
yep.
And you guys, and I was like, this is a brand that's not just making like beautiful boards and beautiful product and great merch, fun stickers. I break for knee-high waves. I mean, who wouldn't want to put that on their truck or their car? Because most of the time around the world, right, it's more often knee-high than overhead. And you just started taking these funny like taglines in like our culture, in our lifestyle, and putting it on shirts and hat and merch. 2 feet and firing.
Yep.
But firing as in fry.
Yep.
And just putting cool logos. Yours is the Early and Often Surf Club right there.
Early and Often Surf Club.
Yeah, and so you're gathering the community and you're getting them out there. You're hosting events here in town, in Costa Mesa, in Orange County, and you're bringing out boards for people to ride and share and getting them on your equipment. We have I think 6'4" Pleasant Pheasant.
Yep.
If that's correct from you. We bought one from you, I think last year for one of our girls, but it's such a fun board. It's like you could ride it as a single fin, you could ride it as a twin, you could do the 2+1s,
Yep.
little side bites. And so unfortunately Lydia and I have stole that from our daughter, our 5-year-old Luana.
It's a family board.
It's a family board, right? You can surf tandem on it, the kids can have a great time on it. And it's that series over there, it's called the R series.
Our series, yeah, we can get into that. That's our more like entry level. It's kind of our answer to the soft top.
It's like a hybrid.
Yeah, I don't
foam.
love the like traditional slick bottom glued seam soft top construction. So that
Okay.
was our kind of like, if Almond was going to make a soft top, how would we do it? So we just wanted to reimagine it from the ground up, and that's that.
Yeah, and you came up with that a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, that actually first launched in 2018 after 3 years of R&D. So from 2015 to 2018, we were just trying to like, I had this idea for this thing I wanted to build, finally found the right manufacturing partner, and then just kind of honestly like pushed all the chips to the middle of the table to just kind of made this bet on the like, I think there's a demand for this. It's totally
Right.
unproven.
In the marketplace.
And it was
yeah.
in the marketplace, and it was just different from what people knew from us. But I wanted to make a better foamy, so it's made in the USA, it's 100% recyclable, and it's based on some of our best-selling custom surfboard models. But yeah, now that's a really fun kind of complementary entry point board line for us that allows us to serve different audiences in different ways and people at different stages of their surf journey.
Yeah, we love it. I feel like whether you're a beginner or someone that's been surfing 50 years, it's a fun board for anyone. It's super durable. Yeah. And I mean, we've beat ours up, sticking in and out of cars and rental cars and vans. It's got the mat on the top, so you don't need wax. So it's just, you don't need a board back. It's just super clean, easy to transport, and again, super durable. And you've got 4 different models, 5?
4.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. And you can probably check it out online.
Yeah, we have those on our website. But,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun line. It's like that's meant to be used and abused, and they don't take on water. Like the ability to just like take a beating and still keep going and be fun was kind of the main objective there. So
there you go. Our series from Dave Allee at Almond Surfboards. But let's talk about the beginning.
Yeah.
And where you grew up and kind of how you started out as a shaper and eventually starting your own brand. But more importantly, like your faith walk and your faith journey. Are you from Costa Mesa? Where'd you grow up?
I literally grew up 2 blocks away from here. So this is like the neighborhood I grew up in.
So you've been walking by this building ever since you were a toddler.
Yeah, the Mexican restaurant across the street, my dad used to call him, be like, hey, I'd like to place an order to go. And they'd be like, Mark? And he'd be like, yep. And they'd be like, all right, we'll have it ready. Like they like knew his voice, knew his order. Like this is like home.
The VIP locals,
Yeah,
the daily.
Yeah. This is Eastside Costa Mesa has been home for 30 years.
And is your dad a shaper, pastor? What was your entry in the surf?
He's an engineer.
Okay.
My dad was an engineer. My mom was an interior designer. The way I kind of bonded with my dad was like just projects in the garage. He's very like he would just make stuff, build things. He still does to this day. Like makes toys for my kids and just sees something interesting. He's rebuilding, cool old Toyota Land Cruisers right now.
Wow.
So that was just kind of how we bonded when I was young. And one of the projects that we took on was like, I want to try making a surfboard. And
when you were young?
When I was 19, I was like just so frothed out on surfing, wanted to learn everything I could about surfboard design and surfboard shaping. There were some people who were like very just open and generous with me at that time when I was just an eager Grom who wanted to learn.
Like mentors and just big
people
brothers.
And, like, I went down and spent the day with Terry Martin one day and at the Hobie factory, which was rad.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's a guy locally here named Brian Hovnanian who was like the stepdad of a girl I was friends with in high school, so I would bug him with questions and just like. And then eventually, as we got more into board building, spent a ton of time up at Waterman's Guild with Greg Martz, the original founder and laminator of Waterman's. And I just wanted to like learn as much as I could about the surfboard building process to figure out where we could kind of like how to make our boards look unique whilst coloring within the lines. You know what I mean? Like understanding the process allows you to figure out like how to make your boards stand out as opposed to just starting with a blank piece of paper. Like I could draw whatever with crayons on a blank piece of paper. It doesn't mean that it's like feasible to do. So I was like so curious in the early days.
What year was that?
So let's see. I built the first board my dad and I spent like a year on, from like original conception to like gathering the materials to like shaping and finally glassing that board was like a year. So that was like 2000.
Obviously hand-shaped, kind of like CNC machine.
Oh yeah, this is like in the garage.
Yeah,
like
just backyard.
Yeah. Rudimentary tools.
Yeah, but just learning the foundation.
Yeah. This would have been like 2006, I think.
Okay. And are your parents still here in town?
They live in Idaho now, but they lived here up until a few years ago for my whole life.
Pretty special to have a shop just down the street from where you grew up.
Yeah.
And now you're married and you've got your kids.
I've got a couple of kids, and now I'm, a business owner in the community that I grew up in. We missed your, I think, 16th anniversary. We were in town, we were trying to get here. You just ran out of burgers and hot dogs. And we're like, I wanted to bring the kids by. But that was so cool to see. And, it's a tough industry. It's very competitive. The world we live in is obviously a broken world in many different respects, especially spiritually. But that was kind of like the catalyst, like the impetus early days. And when did kind of like wanting to own and start a brand kind of come into your mind? And where did the name Almond come from? So starting a brand was actually not what I really wanted to do, because I felt like when I was really young, people who wanted to start a brand, it was kind of like for the wrong reason. It always seemed like, I want to start a brand as like a form of self-elevation or just attention or
fame.
And it just, so I was curious about the surfboard building process. I had an idea for like the brand that I would build. So when I was in college, I studied business at Chapman. I was like shaping surfboards for fun, making a couple t-shirts. I came up with the name Almond just like in the margins of my notebooks in class. I liked that it was a food and a shape and a color. I liked that it's like tied to California, but it's not super literally related to the ocean.
Right.
So just in all my doodling in the margins of my notes, it was just like almond, that's it. So just like, I knew it was a word that I could just like ascribe the meaning to, because almond has, other than an almond shaped barrel, there's not a lot of like correlation between almond and surfing, so I could just create the meaning behind the brand. It was a matter of like picking a word and going with it. Graduated college in 2008, had been shaping surfboards for a few years. The job market in 2008 was not that great, so I was like, hey, maybe I'll just try the surf thing for like a year and then I'll go get a real job.
Right.
And then that year I ended up meeting our now shaper, Griffin Newman-Kyle, who was apprenticing for Bruce Jones. He was even a couple years younger than I was. And he's just like, I just want to get as many reps under my belt as possible. So if you got orders, like, I'll shape them. And it was kind of funny. I'm coming from like a longboard background.
Yeah.
He was coming from like a shortboard background.
Interesting.
And so we were kind of like this tug of war of like influences. But we got along
Or
great.
the best of both worlds.
Totally, yeah. Somewhere in that beautiful mixture of influences, we kind of started to figure out like our niche. But with a great working relationship and working together for 16 years. He's a very funny dude. I tell everyone he's like the most gregarious hermit you've ever met. Like he doesn't like being at public events. He doesn't like
in the limelight.
Attention. No, not at all. But then you talk to him and you're like, this is the funniest dude I've ever met. He'll like command the room because he's funny and engaging, but then he'll be like, oh man, that was rough. I just had to talk to like 6 people I don't know. I got to get out of here. So he's a great
He's like an introvert that can kind of turn it on when he needs to.
Yes, totally.
Okay. That's incredible that you guys have had
super talented guy.
that relationship for 16 plus years?
16 plus years. We've been going at it. So that was really the thing. I'm like, I met him. He was like, hey, just keep me busy. Like, feed me as many orders as you can.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm starting to develop the idea for the brand. And you hit on a lot of it, to be honest. Like, the things I really wanted to build the brand on were like timeless design. Like, the reason I said I wanted to learn what they look like is I want the boards to be functional and still look good decades from now.
Right.
Because the boards that I was inspired by were decades old when I was learning. I was looking at boards from like the 60s.
Yeah.
And this is like the early 2000s. I'm like, these boards are 40 years old.
Yeah.
Like, and they're still rad. So,
you wanted something sustainable.
I want to build boards that 40 years from now, people are like, dude, this thing's rad. So,
still surfing it. Not like a short board you go through like in 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, just that never appealed to me.
Right.
Like, so that's why we lean into the resin tints, because the resin tint really does like preserve the look of the board longer as opposed to a clear, heavier glass jobs, just bigger boards inherently. And you touched on this earlier too. It's like most places in the world, it's knee high most days.
Yeah.
So let's build boards for like the average let's build, what do we say, exceptional surfboards for everyday waves. Like,
right. And the everyday surfer, right?
And the everyday surfer.
All of us
like,
may think we're pros, but most of us don't surf like pros.
So it was a lot of like, hey, we're going to build boards for where we surf, which is like a lot of here in Newport. And yes, we make it down to Sano sometimes, or Doheny sometimes, or Trestle sometimes. But like for the most part, we're like surfing junky little Newport waves. And
wishy waves around the world.
I want to make fun boards for those conditions. And the timeless design, the longevity, and the reality of like the quality of waves were kind of 3 of the things that I was like, I don't see anyone like celebrating this. It's almost like we're gonna build boards for the best case scenario or the best surfers, which is awesome. I just felt like that was not where I added value. I'm not coming at this from like a retired pro. I'm coming at this from like an eager young kid who just wanted to like make something cool. So a lot of the brand notes that you still see today are just that, like continuing to build and extrapolate over the next, over the last 16 years. It's like 2 feet and firing, and will break for knee-high waves, and the early and often surf club. It's all just an extension of that same kind of ethos.
So fun. I mean, putting that on a sticker, wearing that on a hat, putting it on your t-shirt, I could just figure people come up and talk to you and just comment. I know I'd say something if I saw someone out in public, be like, dude, that's such a rad shirt. Yeah. And so I love how it's just clean, tongue-in-cheek, family-friendly merch, and aesthetically pleasing too. Just like clean lines that just something about color on a board, especially like a long board or a mid-length, just pops so much more than like a traditional just white board. And you got some ASIMs down the line on the rack. I don't know if they're on camera, and then you've got a couple fishes down at the end, some 20s.
Yep.
And it's just a really well curated shop. We've got a couple mutual friends here, the brothers in Christ over at Turtle Box. We've got some other mutual friends like Ben Weiland, filmmaker in the industry. Yep. So what year do you feel, because I would, back to kind of when I was learning about you, seeing the brand, seeing the boards out in the wild, and then just randomly, I think I was down there for a Christian Surfers meeting where I had a Christian Surfers t-shirt on, and one of the guys that had your board said, Dave, who owns that brand, Almond, is a believer too. I'm like, really? So I felt like I always heard your name, and I always like had a hunch that you were a brother in Christ, and I was like, and it wasn't until like maybe the last couple times running into you at events here in Orange County, even though we had moved away from San Clemente and Costa Mesa and Irvine to the East Coast now, I was like, I need to meet this guy, Dave. So I'm just like gonna go into the shop and just meet him and your kids and your wife. All kind of around the same age as my wife and kids. So I was like, this is a guy in the industry in the exact same stage, in the thick of it, running his own business as well. And I was like, this guy probably, I can probably relate to everything this guy's going through.
Yep.
And so that was really special for me. And then to really, hear and talk to you and your family and your friends are like, yeah, this guy truly loves the Lord. So what were you, a follower in Christ that whole time, or did that come later in life?
No, I grew up at church.
Okay, here in Costa Mesa.
Here in Newport. I worked at a church. I actually worked at a church through college doing all the media stuff. I had no experience like doing graphic design or anything, but I learned it on the job there. So I actually quit that job to open the Almond
Which
shop.
church was that? Was it Crossing?
It's called St. Andrews. It's like a big Presbyterian church. It's actually across the street from the high school I went to.
Okay. In Costa Mesa or Newport?
Newport, yeah.
Okay. That's amazing.
So, yeah, grew up at church. Was always kind of a church kid. And I think it's been... My faith has really informed a lot of the like values that I try to bring to the brand without being overtly like a Christian.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
brand,
you want to walk that fine line of not like.
You're not beating people over the head with the Bible.
Yeah, or not wanting to like. I don't know. I'm very sensitive about not wanting to like use it for any like gain, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Hey, like you should buy my boards because I'm also a Christian. I like got really sensitive about that sort of thing where like I want to encourage people to get out and like enjoy and celebrate and immerse themselves in creation. If you like read some of the blog articles I write, I'm like trying to like encourage things that are like near and dear to my heart as a believer and like slow down.
Take time.
Yeah, take the time.
Spend time.
Yeah, just be in nature. Immerse yourself in things that like are beyond your control, because I do believe that like God created this amazing world and that Jesus will redeem all of creation someday, and it's a broken, gnarly place in the meantime.
Right.
So bringing people together, real life experiences, community, and like, getting in the water are just good things for maintaining a healthy life amidst the brokenness.
Yeah, I mean, those are all really biblical things at the root of it. And you see that in the worldview and culture for a lot of day now with like New Age, all that kind of stuff. But you're like, yeah, you guys all kind of really just rip that off in the Bible. But yeah, being in God's creation. And I love Psalm 19, and the heavens and the skies declare his glory and his majesty. Just, but I think you and I know that there's this creator behind this beautiful creation, right? The majority of probably surfers or people, friends and out there and people in this world are, kind of worshiping the creation itself, but they don't really, or they're worshiping energy or whatever, but they don't realize that energy in this creation comes from
one layer deeper to
the source. And so it's not what you worship, but who you worship, right? That sometimes makes all that difference. And so I love, and just the content you're talking about, your email newsletters. I think you can just subscribe at almondsurfboards.com. I've been a subscriber for years just because I just love the content. It is family friendly. It's wholesome. Like I said, it's educational. There weren't surfing's been this weird thing until maybe recently, right? Where it's always kind of been like this exclusive club, right? And there has been a movement, and we were just talking about the Olympics earlier before we started recording, and things that are changing in the industry, right? Like wave parks are obviously developing, and there's certain things that have changed the world and changed surfing and globalization and just there's more people in the world, but there's definitely more surfers than there ever were before. But you created the way you market the brand, the way you talk about the brand, the way you build community, and you're gathering people here, either at Blackie's or here at the shop, where you're doing demo days. It just always came across as a really inclusive brand, and you got a couple books here. And I felt like whether you were like an older surfer or a younger surfer, you could read this content and you could like glean something from it, and you could you're like, oh, I want to go surf with these guys, especially if you're in Orange County. So how often do you guys meet?
Okay, recording.
Every surfer and every surfing community should have the opportunity to know and follow Jesus.
That's why we want to share with you an exciting new project.
The Surfer's Bible!
The Surfer's Bible won't just be in printed form, but it'll also be digital.
And this will include testaments, devotionals, and reading plans, all online and consistently updated.
As part of the global movement, you can make this fantastic idea a reality.
For as little as $10, you can get a printed Bible in the hands of a surfer who has never read one before.
That's a Bible in the hands of a surfer at the local beaches.
Lives will be changed and hearts will be softened.
For every surfer!
I think we did it.
We Phil?
Are we done or are we?
Once a month.
Once a month.
The Early and Often Surf Club kind of started as like a joke. Is like, okay, it started because we were like, catch waves earlier, catch them more often, with a board that like, it's almost like a nod and a wink, the same way the bumper sticker is, to like, as we're getting older, you need a little bit more foam. You know, your wave count will go up if you just have a little bit more foam, catch waves a little bit earlier in their formation. Everything else in surfing happens easier when you're like, get to your feet earlier. It's like, if you watch a pro surfer scratch into a wave, they get into the wave so stinking early because they're just that good.
Right.
For the rest of us, we just need a little extra like oomph. So the Early and Often Surf Club was kind of a funny, like just wink and a nod to that. But then we decided like, why don't we make it an actual club that meets? So it was like, it went from a joke to reality, where we decided a couple years ago, I think what year would it have been? It's been a few years now, 2021.
Yeah.
We started just saying, hey, we're gonna drop a pin on Saturday morning. Come join us in the water. We'll bring your own board, bring your own wetsuit. We will bring a few extras to kind of just share and pass around. So it was kind of like halfway between a board demo and a surf club meetup. Just like, this is where we'll be. Let's just go trade some waves. And it's fun too, because like, you know, my brother Jeff will come and shoot photos, and we'll have some coffee there on the beach and some boards laid out. And it's like the most low-key formula ever.
Yeah.
But if people are there and having fun and trading waves and hooting and hollering, like, great. And it's like, we try to pick spots where we're not gonna like insta-crowd someone's morning and like ruin their morning, which, you know, whenever you get 20 people together in the water, like there is a little bit of that. And we just try to be as polite and mindful of our impact as possible. But it's just a fun way to get the other parts that you can't experience in these four walls, of just like, even as a team, getting out and getting in the water together. Because we could go months, or how long could we go as a Almond team and just never get in the water together because we just got our busy lives and we show up to work. And so it's just been good for even just that. But it's a fun excuse to get in the water.
I love reading about it, and I love seeing the photos. And who wouldn't want free coffee and a free photo from the surf session, and knowing that, you know, you're with a fellowship, you're with good people. And just having that community to share that, you know, and I think maybe you have the same perspective, Dave, like as you get older, and especially watching our kids grow up now and that kind of stuff, it's like, this best surf systems to me aren't like just, you know, huge, massive waves and barrel, like, I'm kind of past that now. I just want to have fun with my friends.
Yeah.
You know, that to me is the perfect session now, where we're out there on the beach day with our family, our wives, our kids, and we're just trading off waves and we're hooting each other on. And that's what I love about Christian Surfers too, is that community. But great name, Early and Often Surf Club. Way better than late and infrequent. You know,
yes,
exactly.
Exactly.
Which would be the case with, like you said, this world, you know, and just Satan and just social media, everything, right? Just, you know, just distracts you all the time, and work, right? It's so easy to become a workaholic in today's hustle culture, and to, you know, not make God and Jesus or your family a priority, and even, you know, surfing, just, you know, working all the time. And so I love that you do that, and you gather the tribe, and you're creating a safe place and a community that anybody is welcome. And that's what I love too, because I learned to surf later in life, and I had such a hard time, and I didn't have anyone to surf with. And I wish I knew you in my, you know, 20s or 30s, and I had that community to surf with. And luckily, I stumbled upon Christian Surfers at a Bethany Hamilton Walking on Water event, and I was like, this, you know, and I love Christian Surfers Australia. They got a shirt that says, "I found my tribe."
Right.
And, you know, that's what it really is. You found your belonging, you found a family and a community to be a part of, because whether humans realize it or not, we were all designed to be in community and to be in relationship with each other, but ultimately that reflection of our relationship with our Creator and our Lord and Father, Jesus Christ. So, and your family now, you've got a couple kids, I think, two kids. 6
and 3.
6 and 3, right there with me and Lydia, with Luana and Maya, 5 and 3. And then what does the future hold for Almond? What's the next kind of 5-10 years? Where do you see it going?
Continue to press deeper into the same kind of like themes. Like, I think, as like you brought up, the distraction and technology and the prevalence of AI in all parts of our lives and our phones being powered by these algorithms that are just serving us up a poo-poo platter of just
billion things
junk.
a day.
Yeah. And so I think my personal opinion is that the simple, real, in-person experiences, whether that's gathering around a fire on the front lawn of the shop, paddling out in the water together, just getting people together to experience the real is more valuable than it's ever been. Things we used to just take for granted, like, surfing, sitting around a fire, cooking together, eating together. Like those kind of things are core to the human experience.
Yeah.
But in a weird way, kind of countercultural to this like highly digital, highly
isolating
and disorienting kind of season that
noise
we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
So I think I want to press deeper into that, reconnecting people with the Creator. I think people are hungry for things that are real, hungry for genuine community. I think people are kind of lonely. And so regrounding in things that we like know to be true and hold to be true is and finding new expressions for that. Yes, surfing is an amazing way to do that, but it's not the only way. So I think 5 to 10 years out, you'll probably see us start to like find other expressions of the same general principles that have informed all of our like decisions at Almond over the last decade and a half.
I love it. Bringing it back to the roots and our God-shaped hope, which we all have as humans, but reconnecting with each other and not forsaking the fellowship of the sisters and the brothers. Any new kind of like products or merch that you guys are working on for this year?
Can I spoil one?
Sure.
Is this a news breaking show? We are working on a 2.0 version of the R Series right now.
Okay.
It will be lighter, faster, stronger, just like even more durable. But that's been a couple of years in the works. Like, several years of just tooling, R&D, all that kind of stuff. So
amazing. Same shapes, different shapes?
I think we're going to be adding a new shape into those shapes, and I think we're going to be adding a new one soon here too. But
amazing.
Yeah, just trying to make
the technology just
continuing to advance that technology of just our making our foam boards as like durable and light and fun and fast as possible. Yeah, and you said it's closed cell, so it doesn't take on water, which I've learned with ours that you could ding it and it's going to be fine. Versus a different type of board, you'd be pretty bummed. Yes. But you've got that, and you've got the beautiful quiver back here, and people can order customs online. Yep, we do custom orders. We do, one of my favorite things we do is New Board Friday. So every Friday I do an email blast. It's like, here's all the new stock boards that came in this week. It's just like something for, either you're waiting for your perfect dream board to come in, or you're just like, oh, I like to look at new surfboards sometimes. So we drop new boards on the website every Friday. We do customs as well. We have some new board models that we're kind of always working on behind the scenes with Griffin and with some of our team guys of, I think stuff in the like fish to mid-length category is really where we're seeing the most enthusiasm and interest and demand right now. So well, like you were saying earlier, foam is your friend, and fun shapes, unless you're maybe 16 and in shape. But it never hurts to have more foam. And like you said, you just want to have fun when you're in the water with your friends, right? Yeah, totally. And whatever board that may be. Is there a factory close by? Yeah, we shape everything right here at Waterman's Guild in Santa Ana, and then the R Series boards are made in Utah. Okay. So everything's like made here domestically, and just that's amazing. That's a blessing, especially in the current times, right? Gosh, with the tariff madness and use. Yeah, fortunately, we've kind of built a business that's domestic. Yeah, we don't keep. We've got a very small retail store. We don't keep like a zillion boards in stock. Smart. It's good and bad, right? Like we don't necessarily have like the exact board and the exact dimensions just on the racks waiting for you. Sometimes. But you can make it or order it. Yeah, we can build it, and if you're willing to wait a few weeks, we'll do that. And in the meantime, just trying to give away as much value as possible. I think we are unique in the sense that like I just want to give away as much value as we possibly can, create as much value as we possibly can. Yeah. So we kind of operate a little bit like outside of this, I don't want to say outside the surf industry because we make surfboards, but we've kind of found our own little like
niche
sandbox, and we're just gonna like try to build the best version of the brand that we think serves our customers the best. So we love feedback from our customers. You brought up these books earlier.
Yeah.
Like the reason I wrote these guides was just like, we've learned a lot just from the conversations we've had in the store, from people who are really open and generous with us with information, and then just the informed surf experience. So I've written a bunch of like guidebooks that are just basically like expanding upon some of those emails that you referenced or blog articles, just trying to be like, hey, if you're like new to surfing, Almond's Guide to Your First Year of Surfing. Everything we could think to share with someone who's like a novice. You want to know about nose riders and longboards? We wrote a book about that. You want to like improve as an intermediate surfer? We wrote a book about that. Mid-lengths, landlocked surfers. Like I just tried to like
something for everybody.
Yeah, something for everyone. Like meet people where they're at, wherever they're coming from. Like whether or not you choose to buy an Almond surfboard is like, sure, that's great. But like we want to equip and empower people to go at least enjoy their surf experience as much as they can.
Regardless of what brand that they're surfing, you're just bringing that value to them. And this is priceless. When I was learning, I can't tell you how many times I got yelled at. I would have paid $1 million for these books. How does, can someone download those off PDF? Where
they're free on our website. So all these are free,
so you could go
$0
almondsurfboards.com.
Yep.
And I mean, right there you go. You've got your personal mentor on paper that Dave has put years of just conversations and research and data information into right there at the touch of your fingertips. So just like we were saying earlier, technology good and bad.
That's literally we have it as a $0 product on our website.
That's amazing.
Just to get the information out there for people who just want the information. But then we just literally
you could come in and buy print copies.
Yeah, we have them on there,
and they're beautiful too. Good little table.
Cool.
You got some art on the cover.
Yeah,
and you could buy the library. Which don't really exist anymore, and the same thing with surf mags, but put them on your coffee table. What's it like for you? We wanted to ask you, being a follower of Jesus, and being a business owner, in this, what's it like being a follower of Christ in this industry right now, in this world, in this season?
It's honestly kind of encouraging because a lot of my friends that I've like made in my 30s, I'm 39 now, I was 22 when I opened the store, but a lot of my friends that I have now are fellow entrepreneurs and fellow believers. So you kind of have this like network, shared understanding and just like shared experience of like the game board feels like it's constantly like in flux and like you're constantly like trying to reimagine the business on the fly, and business is just a lot more complicated than it used to be. I like joke that when we first started this business, like when I was 22, opened a retail store. We didn't have an online store. I don't even think Instagram existed yet. Like just business was pretty simple. Yeah. And now there's just like so many like things you have to think about, and like I said, like the rules of the game just seem like they're constantly in flux, and the variables are constantly in flux. So having a community of like fellow dudes who are also trying to figure it out, whether they do apparel or furniture or whatever the like expression is of their work, like we're all kind of trying to figure out the same stuff. So I think it's been encouraging in that way to know that like in spite of all the like external turmoil or things that make business extra challenging, and it's like once you solve one problem, it seems like a new one pops up. We haven't had like an easy season really in a while, but having a community of like believers and dudes who are like doing similar things has been just priceless. So
they're sharing that same journey with you with business and entrepreneurship. But you have that commonality with that and it just spiritual foundation.
It's a good reminder that like this place is great. I'm super proud of it. I've been doing it since I was really young.
Yeah.
But like I guess the like challenge of business also keeps a temper on your like, I'm not trying to like elevate this thing. Like if it all went away, if like, this building got flattened tonight.
The boards of the brand.
Yeah, if it all just like went away, like I would be bummed, but I would be okay. I'd be just like, okay, cool. Like what's next, God? And it's nice knowing that like you have
your true identity.
Yeah, and my true identity, this is one piece of it. This is like a fraction of one piece of like where I want to add value in life as a husband and as a dad and as a friend and just a member of the community. So it's the like challenges of work and the like unpredictability of this industry helps you keep perspective, I guess.
Nothing's really guaranteed to life except for Jesus and life, death, and taxes, which is popular tattoo, but it's obviously a lot easier to go through knowing Jesus.
For sure.
And having that security, that foundation. And that segues into, Dave, how can we be praying for you and your family and the business?
Boldness to continue to press forward and not get too comfortable in things that either have worked in the past or are comfortable and familiar. Would be great. Just prayers to like be able to, like what I'm really working on right now is like just separating work time from non-work time. You kind of get this internal angst where like when sales aren't what you want them to be and you're at home with the kids and I'm like in my own thoughts about like what's one thing I could do right now that would just kind of like, you know, help us maybe sell another board today or something.
Pressure,
so I'm like, then I find myself reaching for Instagram to be like, is there something I could like post really quick that would just like, and that's not where my head needs to be. My head needs to be like home, fully present with my kids, with my wife. So I'm trying to like really separate, like, you know, not get too focused on scoreboard checking because it's like that Shopify sales thing resets every night at midnight and every day you start over at zero. And so you can get really like focused on the scoreboard of just like, all right, what am I going to do to bring sales in the door today? But doing a better job of leaving that here and just being present with my family would be like the other thing.
Thank you for sharing that, Dave, because I need to hear that too. And I think we were kind of just chatting as we were setting up. And again, that just peer pressure from the hustle culture that you see nowadays, and just especially now with social media being 24/7 and, you know, never turning off and just, you know, getting bombarded and, you know, how much money is enough money, how much sales is enough sale. Like this is a rabbit hole, right? And I think those are definitely some of the tricks and tools of Satan to kind of distract us from our family and our friends and being able to be present. So I love what you're doing here. I love the vision that you shared with you and your family and the community that you're building here with the brand for Almond in the next 5 or 10 years. I wanted to talk about that Rivian and that Porsche collab too before we end, because I saw that. That was awesome. And just beautiful for me, kind of like from a third party outsider perspective. I was like, that makes sense to me because you've got just beautiful lines. It seemed to me more like a design synergy. But how did those come about? And I love just being. I was at Surf Expo and I had a couple friends from Rivian show up. There's a few brothers and sisters in Christ that work there, and they rocked in the trucks, and I looked on top and I'm like, there's Dave's boards. So it was so cool to kind of see, not only obviously, you know, you must feel proud as a shaper and brand owner, like you're in the wild, you're surfing here or Huntington or Sano, and you see your board in the wild, right? You're seeing people with your board in the parking lot or rocking across the beach. That must feel pretty cool.
I love knowing that we're building equipment basically that's going to just go and see beaches all over the world that we will never see with our own eyes. And we're building, like I said at the beginning, like we're building boards that are going to outlive me, I hope, and be enjoyed for a long time in a lot of different rad places. But some of the partnerships have been really cool, and it's a fun way to just build something unique. So the first kind of big one would have been Rivian. They're a fellow Orange County brand. We just got to know some of the people over there over the years.
Organically.
Just from them coming in here before the car even launched. Like we were kind of already rooting for them before they had ever unveiled the first truck at the LA Auto Show. Gosh, it's been a bunch of years now. So then as they were like building out the brand and the merchandise, they wanted to do a surfboard collaboration, which was fun. So we did that. We did some limited edition custom boards matching their truck colors.
Super cool.
And then we did a line of R Series foamies where it was like a print that they designed that was co-branded, which was awesome. It's just fun to like have some synergy. They're all like, I love their motto, keep the world adventurous forever. Like I just think that's so strong, just from a brand positioning standpoint. And, they were fun to collaborate with. And then the unexpected one was Porsche. They, like 6 months after our Rivian thing launched, some folks from Porsche came in like, hey, would you want to build us some surfboards? And I'm thinking for like a trade show. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. And then as we get to talking, I'm like, oh no, you're like thinking like we're doing like a partnership, like a collaboration. This is cool. So we ended up doing like a limited edition series of custom surfboards. We went, obviously the 1960s is an era that I'm very inspired by, coming from a longboard background. In my mind, it was kind of like the golden age of surf, where all the surf shops were like the different board builders up and down the coast, and it's all the longboards that I love. So it also happens to be the era when the first 911s were built, like 63, 64 was like when the first 911s came out.
Porsche 911s.
And so I pitched in this idea like, hey, what if we dip into your archives, pull out some cool archival, like iconic Porsche colors from that era, and you use those colors on the boards. And they went for it, which I was so stoked on. So then we ended up building a whole co-branded apparel line, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, keychains, like just a whole like collection inspired by the original 1963 911s and 912s. And it was very well received and it was fun. But the reason I like those brand partnerships so much is like, of all, Porsche picking us to collaborate with surprised a lot of people, myself included. Just being a big global brand with a very like big following, and people, they're really known and admired for the craftsmanship, the timeless lines, the simplicity of the design, but like beautiful, elegant design. All things that I like kind of resonate with. But I really like the brand partnerships because you're coming together with someone else and creating something new. Like we never would have like done a line of, going into the Porsche archives, choosing these colors. Like you just create something new and unique that you otherwise never would have created on your own, either one of us. So both parties bringing their own unique flavor to a partnership. So we're doing some more fun partnerships right now that are yet to be announced. But I love those synergy things, because you find the Venn diagram of where your world and their world and your your design preferences and theirs align, and then you just get to make something new and unique. And
I love that.
That gets me all fired up because it's just playing in a like different but complementary sandbox, to use that same analogy again.
Yeah, I love playing in the sandbox, and especially the sandbox of Jesus. And that's just, I think, a testament to your work and the brand you've built, Dave. It's just that, iconic brand like Porsche, which you think performance, right? And then a new brand like Rivian, which obviously is an EV truck, but got a great sustainability story, but really kind of unique design cues that are very different from anything you kind of see on the road. Kind of just matching that with what you've built, and just the color and the beauty and the lines and the design of Almond Surfboards, which is rad. I don't know many other shapers and brands that have collabed with brands like that. So an amazing job on that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you again for supporting the Christian Surfers podcast and the ministry, and coming on the podcast today, getting to the shop early, opening it up for me while I'm in town. And those of you out there who want just a fun, beautiful board to surf, whether it's a log, a vintage single fin, twin fin, ASIM, R Series 2.0 coming out soon, just fun, durable board every day that you could bang up with your family. Get in touch with Dave Allee and his team on Almond Surfboards on Instagram or social media, almondsurfboards.com. Sign up for his email list. Check out his merch, his fun hats, his stickers. We got a Bible for you here, another Christian Surfers Bible.
Appreciate it.
And come check out his store in Costa Mesa, California, Orange County. Beautiful store, a lot of great brands and merch in here. And come say hi to Dave and the family. And brother, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Man. Thanks, Mark.
That was awesome. We'll see you guys soon.